Yo people, welcome to the very first HTML beginners lesson of HTML introduction in Craving Coding. Well, I said a lesson, but it is gonna be just an introduction of HTML in this video. I wanna give a brief overview of everything that we're gonna be covering in this video, and then give a tiny one introduction of what HTML is. But before we do that, it's time to talk about prerequisites. This is what you need to know before you start this course, which is absolutely nothing. You need to know nothing at all before you start this course. All you need to have is a computer and a software to start developing HTML in it. This is a very beginner course, so you don't have to know anything about web design, HTML, or any programming knowledge. So, what will we be covering? Well, in this video, we'll start taking a look at what HTML is. We'll just take a look at where it is now and how to use it with other web technologies to create websites and its documentation structure. Then we'll download some software to create documents ourselves. And then we'll dive into HTML, learning HTML tags and learning the most possible of it until you become so familiar with it, because this point is gonna be the longest one in our tutorial series. Next, we'll take a look at CSS. And CSS is more to do with the visual aspect of web pages. So we'll have a quick look at that. Throw some CSS into a document and see how it all ends together. And then finally we'll take a brief look at JavaScript as well. Now JavaScript is the interactivity of a web page. We're not going to dive too deeply into that, but I want to show you how it can be utilized with HTML. If you want to learn the history of HTML, you're more than welcome to go and scour the internet for plenty of articles out there. In fact, what I'm going to do is put a link to one of those articles in this video description so you can click that and read it. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what HTML is and how it works with other web technologies. Alright, so first things first, what HTML stands for? Well, it stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Now, this is not important to be honest, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. It's not a programming language, it's a markup language. And the difference is a programming language is a formal language comprising a set of instructions that produce various kinds of output. Programming languages are used in computer programming to implement algorithms. However, a markup language like HTML is just a way of presenting content in a structured and logical way to the user. And we do this with something called HTML tags. And I'll talk about that later. Just remember for now, it's just a markup language. So that's about it for this introduction. I hope you understood what HTML is and are willing to join me on this course. You're going to learn HTML from the very beginning. That's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next lesson.